attempt to battle me. No one can withstand the might of Fang Foom.
Untold millennia ago, mankind invents the sharp stick. Mankind invents the blade. Mankind invents the gun. Mankind invents the bomb. And then, mankind invents the Iron Man. Tony Stark has created the ultimate weapon, a suit of armor that allows a mortal man to stand alongside the very gods that forged the earth. Using his incredible invention, Tony's met the challenge of many ridiculously powerful enemies. Soldiers of titanium, living apocalyptic weather events, otherworldly assassins, and every time, Tony's come out on top. But those foes were all mere men, predictable, understandable, within the realm of human comprehension. But how will the armoured Avenger fare against a monster from the stars, a beast so ancient, so powerful, that his mere name brings to mind scenes of sheer destruction? How will Iron Man survive? Fang Foom. This evil is so ancient, he's from before Marvel even did superhero comics. Strange Tales issue 89 introduces the most fearful menace of them all, Fang Foom. And oh shit, he is actually quite scary looking, isn't he? His face is like a horrible mishmash of man and monster. He looks like he could eat you alive and not even notice he's done it. But also, he's wearing underwear. Hang on, we're only 2 pages in and we've already seen Foom both green and orange. Are we supposed to believe this is some sort of colour-changing dragon? Ridiculous. The secret police of communist China are terrified when they see a warning written on the wall. 3 words send a chill down the dictatorship's spine. Fang Foom. Meanwhile, a local layabout named Chan Liu Chao is told that he needs to go out and make something of himself. I mean, he wants a career as a historian. Get real, mate. Go join the army like your big brother Chung and become a real man, proclaims Chan's dad. But when the soldiers are summoned to deflect a Russian onslaught, Chan believes he has a better way of fighting back. This junior historian has uncovered a tale about an ancient legend slumbering beneath the Great Wall of China, a being known as Fang Foom that could overpower all the armies on Earth. Hearing that Chan was last seen heading towards the Russia-controlled mainland, Chan's father believes his son has defected to the Russians out of fear. But the reality is far worse as the kid successfully raids the forgotten crypt the old scroll warned of. He descended into the strange subterranean chambers until he found a tunnel. This must be the tunnel that leads under the Great Wall of China. In here, I shall come upon Fang Foom. Now, as he neared the end of his journey, he grew tense and fearful, but too much was at stake. He dared not back down. He had to go on and on until the last. There he is! The dragon creature himself! Fang Foom! The ancient manuscripts describe 2 kinds of herbs, one to make the monster sleep, and the other to arouse him by brushing it against his lips. It said arouse, and before I said he was going to come upon him. This is getting a bit dirty now. His eye! It's opening!
I have awakened. After countless centuries, I live again.
Like a tower of nightmare, the huge dragon creature loomed above him.
You, mortal, you have brought Fang Foom to life again. I am grateful to you. For too long I have been deprived of air and sunlight, and life itself.
Then came the most dangerous moment of his life. Hear me, mighty creature. I brought you to life with a magic herb, but I have also another herb, which will put you to sleep again. And now that I've seen how huge and ugly you are, I have decided it is best for you to sleep forever.
You would take the gift of life from me? You are my enemy!
Jesus, that was quick. He didn't even try and make friends with Foom. The dragon demon tries to kill Chan, but he's too quick. So Foom decides to finally escape his tomb. For the first time in ages, Fang Foom is freed. And he's pissed. Oh, why does he look like he's crying here? It's okay, mate. Don't listen to them nasty humans. Squash him instead. The talking lizard is so hench, he picks up a chunk of the Great Wall and uses it as a weapon. What has Chan unleashed upon unsuspecting China? Knowing that Chan's the only human alive with knowledge on how to put him back to bed, Fang Foom hunts him across the mainland, but the dragon must still be groggy after his nap because he just cannot catch up to the Chan man. And before long, Chan's mission is accomplished because he lures Foom right to the Russian troops. The Reds open fire on Fang, but they're mere ants compared to the dragon demon. Bullets bounce off his scaled hide, only killing Foom's patience. Still mainly on Chan's ass, Foom obliterates the Russian fleet standing between him and his prey. The threat of Mother Russia is killed in its infancy, but the danger's now replaced by a friggin' massive pissed off dragon. His mission successful, Chan prepares himself for the real challenge, returning the dragon to its crypt without getting swallowed. I need to know what this Chan guy's up to in Modern 616. This is the greatest character Marvel ever created. Look how he talks raw shit to the giant evil dragon trying to eat him. Balls of steel. Foom chases Chan back into the tunnels from whence he came, and now there's no escape. The human shall die for daring mock the all-powerful Fang Foom. Chan trembles in fear as the monster strikes. But it's a mirror! He's been tricked! Has Foom been asleep since before mirrors were invented? Chan dashes forth at the startled demon and strokes his lips real nice with the sleepy head. Dragging the dragon down for good. Cool intro, wasn't it? He's an age-old monster slumbering just beneath the surface, and heaven help us all, the day he awakens. This issue was adapted pretty well in the early 2000s cartoon Jackie Chan Adventures, but weirdly, they renamed the main guy from Chan Lu Chao to Jackie Chan. 4 kids dubs, eh? What are they playing at? Just so I don't get 1,000 comments saying I forgot this and that. Fang Foom does reawaken sporadically throughout the years. He helps some living colossus fight off an alien invasion in Astonishing Tales 23 and 24. And he gets his dragon body hijacked by a demon called Tanu in Legion of the Night. Oh, and he even settles the score with Chan. But let's be honest, we're not here for that, are we? We're here to see the armored Avenger himself, the knight in high-tech armor, Iron Man, fight a friggin' dragon. So let's rock it on. Starting in Iron Man issue 261, after decades of slumber, the dragon reawakens. The solid steel superhero Iron Man is about to find himself locked in deadly battle with his greatest nemesis once again, the malicious Mandarin. This video will be great foreshadowing for when we eventually do the Mandarin. The once mighty Mandarin has fallen on hard times and hard flaws. This man was once Tony Stark's ultimate nemesis, but as Iron Man got better and better, even the might of Mandarin's magical Maculon rings paled in comparison. But now, thanks to the magic of this mystical old man, Chen Husu, the threat is about to reach melting point. The man who rises is not the man who fell. The magic coursing through the Mandarin has purged him of whatever humanity still lingered in his dark heart, as though a fog in his brain has been lifted. The mental blocks that have been holding the Mandarin back all these years have been smashed, and already he has a plan to make the world tremble once again. His 10 rings of power are far more than simple weapons to the Mandarin. They represent pieces of the man himself, and now, with all 10 at his disposal and a clear mind, he is once again complete. He is once again the Mandarin. I haven't forgotten about Foom, I'm getting to him. Or should I say the Mandarin is getting to him? The villain and the wizard travel to the Valley of the Sleeping Dragon. Can you guess what just might be hidden here? Mandarin and Chen Husu have ventured to this faraway mountain range in forgotten China, miles away from civilization, miles away from anything human. Oh, except for these 2 humans, I mean. Guardians of the Forbidden Door, armoured gatekeepers trained from birth to defend the door, or perhaps to defend us from what resides inside. Oh, never mind, they're shit at the job because they let the Mandarin walk right in. Or maybe he's so cool, they have no choice. Enveloped in shadow that rivals the darkness within his own heart, the Mandarin advances ever forward, fearless and ready to finally return to the A-list of villainy. Now, the Mandarin approaches his goal. Entombed in darkness, the villain has reached his ultimate weapon. Now all he needs is to trigger it, and so he removes a puzzle box from his pocket and unlocks it to reveal a gentle herb. Oh boy, the anticipation is killing me. Mandarin, bathed in the hot breath of a sleeping monster, tickles its lips real nice. After decades of slumber, it reawakens. After decades of entrapment, it is freed. And after decades of peace, mankind will again tremble at the might of Fang Foom. The Mandarin has come to seek his destiny.
Well, flesh, you have wakened me from my dreamless sleep.
The Mandarin is also a man unfamiliar with fear. Also a man who feels it now for the first time. I have been brought, sleeper. Brought by the wizard Chen Hisu. The sound of the ancient name rekindles courage. Too long have you slept here, silent and uncaring. The world has changed since last you saw the light of day. China has changed, but not enough. Not as much as I would wish it. The men who rule her now are toads, squatting in the mud, thinking they hold the heavens in their stubby fingers.
And what care I of this? When last I ventured forth, I found only the petty squabbling of flesh. In the end, I was content to return to my chamber, to my sleep. There is nothing that need be of any interest to Fang Foom.
The Mandarin feels the dragon's scalding breath against his flesh, and tastes the lie that rides upon that fetid wind. In the great dark chamber, his laughter is loud and long. China, in an isolated corner of a southeastern province of that vast land, a place with many names, none of which need concern us here. They do not translate easily from the Mandarin tongue. And, in any case, it's been many generations since any was spoken aloud. A place of immeasurable age, impenetrable stillness. Until today. Today, the frozen silence is shattered by the growl of engines, the tramp of heavy-booted feet. The army of modern China has come to this place, come to investigate strange rumours filtering into Beijing from these frigid hinterlands. A caravan of youthful stalwarts who've been trained to follow order and ignore the foolish legends of their ancestors. Today they will learn there are no legends, but that they hold within their slender filigree a grain of truth. In English, he is known as Fang Foom. It's a name older than Western civilization, a crude translation of a long and complex name which means he whose limbs shatter mountains and whose back scrapes the sun. For the legion assembled here this grim day, he has but one name: Death. Foom is free. The dragon demon rampages as if he's making up for lost time. The very mountains shatter at Foom's feet, so can't imagine the Chinese army are gonna fare much better. Holy shit, look at this page! Fang Foom flutters above as he unleashes a stream of hellfire from his mouth, turning the army into nothing but ash. This thing should not be classed as a supervillain. He should be down as a force of bloody nature. During all this, the Mandarin watches with glee, and that's because he knows the murderous monster's Achilles heel. In fact, the aged wizard alongside Mandarin claims to be the one who most recently imprisoned him. Surely the dragon will serve his master faithfully forever. Fantastic plan, Mandarin. Oh, hang on. I said that to foreshadow for later, but on literally the next page, Foom returns to his human alarm clock and, to reward Mandarin for the nudge, plans to kill him quick. Ooh, unlucky Chucky. Back to Bobos for little Foomy. Poor little guy's all took it out after obliterating the Chinese army. But don't worry, as soon as the malicious Mandarin has use for him, Foom shall fly again. Not long after, and the Mandarin makes his demands known. Assembling the leaders of China in the shadow of their Great Wall, Mandarin decrees that he wants China itself, gift wrapped and handed to him. And should the leaders refuse? Well, do I even have to say it? When all the universe's heroes live in one single city, something like this was bound to happen eventually. If this was DC, a dozen Chinese superheroes would have already turned up by now. Piece of piss for Marvel though, Mandarin's the man in charge of China now. Yet still, this goofy wizard sidekick hangs around. What's his angle? A being of such power must hold all kinds of secrets, but are they secrets that the world can survive learning? In a swirl of magic, his silhouette goes from wizard to lizard. And the Mandarin himself bows, having learned his lesson about questioning his spirit guide. The Mandarin now rules more than half of China, but go hard or go home, he wants it all. The villain demands the government hand over all power to his ringed fingers, or he raises the dragon. The Chinese government have no choice, but they do have one hope: the armored Avenger, Iron Man. Bam bam banana banana. Dude, check out this sick cover. Iron Man issue 270 sets our knight against the dragon. How will China draw in Tony Stark? With a hot piece of arse, of course. Stark's been a bit unwell recently, and China just happens to have the perfect, sexy doctor to kiss him better, Su Yin. As Tony suffers this mysterious illness, he's been taking turns as the Armored Avenger alongside his best mate Rhodey, and now both of them land in China to make Tony's appointment. How fortuitous for the Chinese people that they're currently being oppressed by Iron Man's nemesis. Shout out to Mandarin for living the dream though. What little boy doesn't want a pet dragon friend? The Mandarin, magical and mystical, senses in his chakra or chi or whatever that his most hated hero is here in China, but the aged wizard tells him, relax, don't bottle it now when you're so close. The hour of awakening is nigh, so keep those eyes on the prize. As Tony gets tested, probably a good idea. It's Jim Rhodes in the iron when he finally learns of the Mandarin's threat. Jim seems terrified, but come on, he's Iron Man. What's the worst that— oh shit, look out! Yeah, we've wasted enough time, let's just get into it. Tech versus magic, knight versus dragon, man versus monster. We haven't skipped a page here. Iron Rhodes flew right to Mandarin's headquarters as soon as he was told about him, and Fang Foom met him at the door, and our favourite sleepy dragon is now kicking his armoured ass. So even the power of the Iron Man armour pales in comparison to the dreaded dragon demon. Mystical strength and insatiable bloodlust as Foom crack the Iron Man, but maybe Bohemian brain can beat bestial brawn. Hypersonic sound generators rattle the dragon's brain enough to let Rhodey struggle free, but Foom's rage runs so hot that even the metal melts at his anger. Not gonna be that easy. Mandarin and the wizard Chen Hisu watch the fight, but the Mandarin is conflicted. His draconic henchman could very well destroy the Avenger right now, but can Mandarin really sit back and allow another to obliterate his most hated enemy? Or does the hidden agenda of Chen Hisu to end humanity's reign on Earth spell disaster for us all? Chen's astral form visits a co-conspirator to warn him that it's time to abandon their human forms, and after centuries, their own master plan is about to commence. What could this mean for Big Green? Armour of iron, balls of steel. Rhodey keeps going at Fang Foom with all he's got, but repulsor rays and laser beam blasts only piss the dragon off. Don't worry though, it's all part of the strategy. Iron Man blasts some pocket sand in his pursuer's eye, then drops the deadly dragon right into a hole. Oh shit, what a combo. Jim then blasts some mountain peaks down on Foom's face and buries him in rock and stone. Finn even screams, "No!" Phew, that was a close one, but they don't call him the invincible Iron Man for nothing. Now to mop up the Mandarin and... hang on. The bad guys don't seem too arsed that the dragons just died. These villains really are heartless. Unless, of course, that was just round one. Foom smashes Iron Man from the sky as Chen and Mandarin watch on. Iron Man is defeated by the brutal might of the dragon demon Fang Foom. The unstoppable monster can't be beaten by anything mankind will throw at it, and so nothing can stop the Mandarin or Chen Hisu from enacting their evil plan. But just what is this ancient evil abomination? Iron Man 272 gives us a blast from Fang Foom's past. As real today as it was then, the air screams past the gleaming hull plates, the great wings tremble, suddenly frail as the crystal leaves of the Shasternay tree. The belly glows red hot, heat pumps, whining as they strain to cool the internal atmosphere. The ship is dying. How fitting then that its death agony should be writ across the heavens in an unending plume of flame. A flaming sword cleaving the sky, burning itself into the ancient legends of this land for all time to come. A glimpse is all the speed of descent allows of the great green gold vessel, but none who survive this terrible event will ever forget the shape of the intruder. A village dies in the fury of the crash. 200 women and children not yet at work in the fields, snuffed out in a fraction of a second. Nothing left even for a proper burial. The hurtling vessel carves a smouldering valley into the naked rock of the mountain. It pierces the stony side and bores deep into the planet's crust. Inside, darkness falls, abrupt and final. The last, weak flicker of emergency lights picks out their scaly shapes as the captain hisses to the 9 of his fellow creatures who comprise the alien crew. One by one, they approach, divest themselves of the ornately wrought rings which focus the energies of the control functions of the ship. In keeping with the ancient custom, the rings are set upon the central control dais, so that, should so dread a thing become necessary, a single survivor might harness the power to propel the ship once more spaceward. There is safety in space, their training tells them, but it was space that betrayed them, space that destroyed them, doomed them to their plight upon this barbarous, uncertain world. The ship looks whole, the damage is deep inside, the sudden burst of cosmic radiation, unpredictable, pierced their shields and broke the fine pattern of Yzmarin fibers, the delicate threads through which coursed the unbelievable power of the star drive engines. Even if the ship could once again be launched into space, there'd be no means by which to harness the ancient forces that have held it across the gulf between the stars. At least the air here is breathable, cooler than the air of home, thinner, but the sky is the same bright blue, and rock is, after all, rock. It remains now only to discover what sort of welcome will be made by the strange pink creatures glimpsed as the ship plunged to Earth. They looked weak, naked. It seems unlikely, should they prove unfriendly, that there'll be any difficulty in subduing them. Thus is made the first mistake of the planetfall. The mate dies in an instant, his throat torn open by the silver claw of the monster. Only as the beast turns to make a second pass, does some of the sharper eyes realise this is not a single creature, but one of the frail pink things, armoured now, and mounted on the back of an unimaginable quadruped. His first victory is an easy one. The warrior is emboldened. With a keening cry that might well wake the fallen first mate, he swings into his second assault, and the captain bellows for his crew to flee. The morning mists lie still in thick shrouds across the deeper passages of the mountains. Into the concealing vapours the crew races, and thereby into the realm of legend. Ever after, This place shall be called the Valley of Dragons. Since that day, there have been many mornings, many long years for the heart to grow calm, the icy grip of fear to loosen and fade. Many long centuries marching down through the brief lives of men to this day. This place, the palace of the man who calls himself the Mandarin. Presently, the home to one other also, a mysterious stranger, a wizard, a sensei who, for the sake of convenience, calls himself Chen Hisu. His are the memories which we have seen unfold before us. His is the heart and mind which hold within them a dark and sinister secret, the true tale of the Valley of Dragons. In the shadows of the morning room, a servant sets forth the meagre repast of Chen Hisung's breakfast. He wonders how the old wizard can survive, eating so little. He does not wonder how he can float upon the air as another man would on calm water. This is the palace of the Mandarin. The servant has learned to expect miracles. The servant departs and fancies that he feels the slightest sensation, the smallest tickle against the inside of his brain as he goes. Chen Hisu is speaking to his former crewmate, Navigator. The giant turns, a tiny part of him reacting with pleasure at the sound of his ancient, almost forgotten title.
My captain, do not stop me now. In another moment, I shall destroy the armored one.
As soon as Tony's back on his feet, he's getting screamed at by the Chinese leaders about his bodyguard being shit. Tony's been KO'd for hours, so he's got no clue what the hell they're on about. But these pictures get him up to speed real quick. His buddy's in trouble, so sick or not, Tony's got work to do. Using his remote controller, a second suit of armor is summoned to China. It's the exact same model and design, so let's hope we don't get confused about which Iron Man's which. But will the solid steel savior arrive in time to help his bionic buddy? The Mandarin approaches his robotic rival, but before he can strike the killing blow, he senses another. The true Iron Man rockets into the rescue, but between Tony and Rhodey stands a literal friggin' dragon. No problem, Tony's an Avenger, he's battled Stranger, and at least there's only one dragon. Right. Meanwhile, with the man Chen Hisu psychically warned earlier, the time of the abandon is at hand. The masquerade of man has ended. He sheds his skin to show the scales beneath. That dude was a friggin' dragon as well. Well, that's fine, it's fine. We've got 2 Iron Men, now we've got 2 dragons, it's fair teams. Mandarin's pal Chen Hisu senses the dawn of the dragons, and he doesn't seem at all surprised. All part of his plan, millennia old in its making. All across China, secret dragons abandon their human forms, summoned by the psychic command of the ancient wizard. This is like end of days apocalypse shit here, dude. A ton of the population suddenly turn to monsters, and now the flock of mythical demons cast shadows upon the land as they soar to where they can do the most damage to humanity, where they can assist in the destruction of mankind's only hope against them, Iron Man. And he's having enough trouble with just Fang Foom. Not even the original Armored Avenger can take this ancient alien down. We can blame the Wi-Fi signal all we like, but we know it's cause Foom rules, dude. Rhodey watches his boss go down hard, and even though the fight is cool as hell, Mandarin seems to have had enough. The Mandarin calls Jim out for being a pretender and tells the battered Rhodey that it's time his true armor-clad antagonist finally died for daring defy the Mandarin. But Rhodey laughs at the villain's talk of pretending, while Mandarin lets his pet dragon beat Iron Man up for him. Will Mandarin stand for this insult? Tony gives the dragon a taste of full power repulsor rays, but before he can do any real damage, Big Mandy steps in. Jim's piss taken has spared the Mandarin into a more active role in the Armored Avenger's death. Now facing 2 magical monsters, it's not looking good for Iron Man. Tony's one of the smartest businessmen on Earth, so he can see that dying would be bad for the company. Has the shell-headed hero turned into a cobalt-covered coward? Ah well, good thing we've got 2 Iron Men. Mandarin can just kill the already weakened Rhodey and still technically have killed an Iron Man. But Rhodes isn't even looking at his soon-to-be slaughterer. What could possibly be more attention-grabbing? than the goddamn Mandarin. Oh, okay. Fair enough. The 9 survivors of the spaceship crash long ago finally reunite, and even the mighty Mandarin is caught off guard by the roaring reptiles reconnecting. Chen Husu sheds his human form and leads the Leviathan lizards as their master. The mere existence of these monsters threatens all life on Earth, and now the Mandarin finally understands that he himself has been a mere pawn in someone else's game. From the very beginning, Mandarin's been led along by the Scale Squad. His vaunted rings of power are actually the control rings for the Maculon spaceship that the dragons crash-landed in eons ago, all leading up to this. The dragons seizing control of planet Earth. Please bear with me for these pronunciations. The dragons hail from the planet Kakaranathara, a paradise the dragons destroyed because it was so boring for them. So they come to Earth, the most violent planet in the galaxy, to cause some mischief and eventually take control. And if cowards like the yellow-bellied Iron Man are our champions, we're boned. Someone, please call Thor. Hell, at this point I'd take Black Widow over Iron Man. There's the bionic little bitch now. But wait! Tony claims he wasn't fleeing the fight. He was summoning his suit back because the delay in the controller was putting him off. He's stepping in and stepping up to battle these beasts in person. I didn't doubt you for a second, Tone. I'll tell you who the real star of this show is though now. The Mandarin. Space Dragons insist he return the Maculon rings to their rightful owners, but Big M refuses. Enemy of all mankind I may be, but traitor to my species. Never. He's on our side this time. Those damned dragons try and take what they want, but even throughout their star-burning lifespans, throughout their galactic conquering, they've never met a will as indomitable as the Mandarin. You want the rings? You're gonna have to pluck them from Mandarin's cold, dead hands. The Mandarin is so badass that the dragons revert to their most powerful forms, bathing the bad guy in their hellish fire blasts, but the Maculon rings back their new master. The Mandarin uses the cosmic horror's own power against them. Locked in extragalactic struggle, neither man nor monster gain the upper hand. Stalemate. The man faces the dragons, and who among them can truly say which is more astounded? To learn now that they seem equally matched. For long moments, the scorched air is silent. What? Until the stalemate is abruptly broken. Rule change, gentlemen. No more 10-on-1. I've kept myself out of this little fracas too long. Time for some serious accounting. And, in case it slipped your notice, this is the real Iron Man dropping in to join your party. The sad thing is, as cool as it is, the story's gotten away from us with these other dragons taking charge. Fang Foom is just background noise. He has one final issue to stand out in the Dragon Seed saga, Iron Man 725, but he didn't even make the cover, so it's not looking good. The fate of the world hangs in the balance as Tony Stark, the invincible Iron Man, duels the dragons. Armor of Iron Man actually proves equal to the ancient aliens. He's a fraction of the dragon's size, yet still an equal in firepower. Chun Su is displeased, yet impressed by the tenacity of the Iron Man. The Armored Avenger fights a hopeless battle, yet he does it unyielding. Where the hell was this in the MCU? Goddamn Iron Man's fighting a fleet of alien dragons and he's kicking their asses. The dragons get desperate and unleash a trinity of hellfire to finally melt down our shining knight. But that Iron Man's a crafty bastard. Out of the fire and back to the frying pan. And it's funny how with all his high-tech gadgets, it's a simple cable that pulls Iron Man's arse free. I hope his seatbelt's on inside that armor, cause Tony's in for a bumpy ride. Get ready for the absolute sickest page in Marvel history. The situation is increasingly desperate, and a desperate situation must often lead to desperate measures. Iron Man rides the back of a giant dragon while laser beaming other giant dragons out of the sky for the fate of the Earth. Where the hell was this in the MCU? It was badass while it lasted, but now the demons have the upper claw once again. But if Foom can get back up, so can Tony. The damaged roadie swoops back in despite his injuries and his boss's orders, and together, the Iron Men get some breathing space. Landon Jim at the feet of the malicious Mandarin. Snapped out of his deep thoughts by this rude intrusion, Mandarin blasts Jimmy away again, and the thing that seems to happen in every Marvel comic we read happens once again. The hero gets mad, and so starts to win the fight. Seeing Rhodey in danger, spares Tony on to unleashing his full power against the dragons, trying to wrap up this fight so he can get to beating the shit out of Mandarin next. Only a second wind won't be enough to stop these fire-breathing fiends. But this is the Mandarin's planet too, bitch! Eternal enemies unite against the extragalactic threat of the magic dragons. Iron Man and the Mandarin bloody hate each other, dude. Nothing but the very end of the world would make these two team up. Such is the threat of the Fin Fang gang. The dynamic duo of Iron Mandarin kicks some ass, but the cabal of colossal creatures are too powerful for even this Marvel team-up. Then, Chen Husu accidentally reveals the key to defanging their serpent supervillains once and for all. Their very own Maculan rings. They're powerful in the hands of the Mandarin, but he is, after all, but a man. While a hybrid of man and machine like Iron Man could use them at their full, terrifying power. Iron Man grabs the reluctant Mandarin, and the fire-breathing threat goes up in smoke. The shockwave is felt worldwide, scientifically, spider-sensily, magically, swamp-thingily. The dragon dangers are swallowed by the burst of light, the full magic might of the Maculan rings combined with the super technology of Tony Stark tear a hole in reality that destroys the monsters once and for all. And in the dust stands the Iron Men. Solid steel survivors, mechanical messiahs who save the Earth from the threat of the space dragons, and that's the coolest sentence anyone has ever said. Fly home, heroes. Sadly, I'm actually a bit disappointed because this was Fin Fang Foom's biggest story ever, and he was barely in it. Being used by the Mandarin as a weapon was cool, and we could see the second Foom would break free, he'd go rogue and take charge, but instead, some other dragon flies in and takes control instead. What a waste. But I suppose Fin Fang Foom's more of a plot device than a character in this story. But you've got to see the potential in a dragon with intelligence. I reckon they should treat Foom like Galactus, a threat you've just got to try your best to bargain with, or just barely drive off. Fin Fang Foom could have been so much more, but at least his fight scenes were fantastic. When Foom was the main threat, he truly was a threat. And I'm gonna end the video here, because I don't want it to drag on.